A very good morning, everyone. Welcome, I think, everyone on board Zandam into our world stage. Great to have you for our briefing this morning. Before we get things started, I do just want to give you an idea of how our event will work today. Oh, someone's got an orchestra or something going on. So we are going to have our captain come and join us for a presentation. I really appreciate him being here, not only for our solar eclipse voyage, but all the effort him and his team are doing to ensure we have an incredible experience on the 8th. So he'll be out in just a moment. He's going to run through a presentation of what to expect and our plan. From there, we're going to have both our resident astronomer Tom and captain here for some questions, and we'll have mic runners down on decks 4 and 5. So if you do have questions following the presentation, have a big wave and we'll come over and cover as many questions as we can. Now, captain will be here for as long as he can, but as you can imagine, it is a bit of a busy day for the navigation team, making sure we do arrive into Puerto Vallarta. So captain will be here for, again, as long as he can, and then Tom will be able to field any further questions from there. I also want to share, we found out from our IT team, we do have the capacity to film this presentation. So we are filming today's event, and then tomorrow morning in the YN Theater at 10 o'clock, we will air it there. So if there are any guests who are standing or perhaps want to revisit the presentation, tomorrow morning, YN Theater, 10 o'clock, we will re-air the presentation. That being said, please join me in welcoming a big round of applause, a big bunch of gratitude to our captain, Anu Smith.
Thank you, Aaron. Very good. Oh, wow, there's quite a few people here. I guess you want to know where we're going, right? Actually, I need some kind of clicker. Oh, here it is. Let me just see how this works. It works as expected. So, actually, what I'll do, I'm just going to go here on the side. Can everyone see the screen? No? See you later. I got to stand somewhere. So, what I'll do here this morning, I'll just give a quick presentation basically on the navigation side of things, what we will do, what our plan is, and we'll also show you some weather pictures which will show that our plan needs to be a little bit flexible. So, let's talk about that. 2024 eclipse. I look forward to it. I've never seen one, so let's start with that. So I look forward to it as much as you do, and I don't want to miss it. Here's the path of the eclipse, as we all will have seen, and you will all have studied it, and you probably maybe even know more about it than me, some of the astronomers in the room. But the path of total eclipse runs out of straight over Mazatlan, and just before that, in that dark gray area. So the darkest stripe there that you see is a path of total eclipse, and that's obviously what we are going for. This is our track. So normally when we go from Vallarta to Mazatlan, we go inside where those banks are on the right side of that big red area where we can't go. But we are now going around the other side, and what we'll be doing is put ourselves on that blue track which says eclipse track. So our track matches exactly the path of total eclipse. And obviously the prime goal is to be smack in the middle. So we have the maximum time of total eclipse, which is like 4 minutes, 24 seconds. Now if we move away from that center line and we go towards the outer edges of the total eclipse, that will take less long. So about 3 minutes, and or to go all the way down to 1 minute and to 1 second. So try to stay away from the sides of the path. By doing this, by setting ourselves up in the early morning on the eclipse track, we have the option to go to turn left or to turn right and to do stuff. I will not put ourselves too close to the shore because that will limit us. And the priority obviously is to see the eclipse. We also have Mazatlan on the itinerary, but for me the eclipse has priority over Mazatlan. I think you feel the same. Yeah, so that's of course the goal. If we can do it so that we can also be in Mazatlan, that would be a nice bonus. But if we have to deviate, we will do that. So here's plan A, and the fact that I call it plan A already indicates that we may need to be a little bit flexible with this. This is not to scale. But I couldn't get the little boat smaller than that. The sun will be on the starboard side in a direction 140 degrees, and we are steering northeast. If we use any other heading, we will deviate from the path of total eclipse. And if I put the sun straight on the stern, then both sides will not be able to see it. I need to pick a side here. And that will also allow us to use all the viewing opportunities on one complete side of the ship. And we need the open deck space to accommodate everyone. So this is plan A. Looking at the sun at a 60-degree angle, close to 70, so very high up in the sky, on the starboard or right side of the ship. Now, if you're on any open deck, you will be able to see the sun. We're also going to open up the bow deck, so that's the nose of the ship. We'll make sure there's signage. So from there you should be able to see it as well. It's a large area. Of course, the top decks will be open. The aft decks, we will remove most of the sun loungers there, so we have as much space as we can. Also, we'll open the Lido dome area. All going well. So this is plan A. So what does that mean? That means there's a plan B. So here we go. And this is plan B. And my navigation officer was very creative there. If there's clouds, then we need to obviously find a hole in the clouds. And yeah, let me talk about those clouds. Forecast for April 8th. So what do we see here? There is a band of clouds, but it's high clouds. I try to find a pointer on this thing. But probably when I click on it, the whole presentation stops or something. So that gray part that you see, that grayish tint, is high clouds. And this is what is forecasted for April 8. It says 26, it varies between 26 and 30% cloud coverage. It is high clouds. At the moment we have similar clouds in the sky that we can see the sun straight through it. They are like cirrus clouds. They're 9 to 10 kilometers cloud base, so very high clouds and fairly thin at the moment. This band of clouds is further north at the moment, but is slowly making its way down, unfortunately. The edge of this cloud system is where those islands are on the bottom, and that is also the edge of the path of total eclipse. It's still 2 days to go, so it can be further north, it can be further south, it can be less, it can be more. It develops, it dissolves, it's a constant changing pattern, which is very difficult for us to predict. In fact, yeah, clouds are the most difficult weather phenomena to properly predict. I can't say where the holes are going to be, if there's going to be a hole, how thick it's exactly going to be. We have to have a good doses of luck. This is what that band of clouds look now. It's further to the north there in the Bahia, California, and it's looks pretty considerable. Even though they're high clouds, there's gaps in between. This is not the exact clouds that we will see 2 days from now. The whole thing is moving from the left corner, left bottom corner towards the right upper corner. So it's moving all the time, and it's getting less and thinner and thicker and thinner. But the whole thing is slowly moving south. And you can also see that on the edge of this system, it's more open than in the middle. So if this whole system keeps coming down, we may need to put ourselves on the edge of the total eclipse path. So we may not have then the 4 minutes, 24 seconds, but maybe we'll have 2 minutes or 1 minute, but we'll do whatever is possible to see it. Yeah, that's it for the clouds. I wish I could change it. I put like big ventilators on the ship, you know, to blow it all away. But the problem is that it's basically parallel to the eclipse path. So if it comes in from the side, and we can run up and down this highway, but if it comes from the side, then there's not that much we can do. But we'll do our very best. And we still have 2 days to go, so this can change a little bit. So let's hope that there will be not too much, and that if it is high clouds, that we can at least see the sun straight through the clouds. I don't know what that will do with the moment of total darkness and the corona and everything, so we'll have to see. In any case, we are ready for it. We'll be navigating, and like I said, by putting us out in the ocean, away from the coast, we will have options. So in the early hours of the morning, we're going to look at the latest satellite pictures, the latest cloud pictures. We will decide what the best place will be for us, what is the highest chance of seeing it, and that's where we will go. And if that means skipping Mazatlan, we will, of course, do that. Be safe. So if you look at the sun, make sure you wear your solar sunglasses. We will be distributing these soon to every cabin, but I think many of you already have your own. I've been told that you should not use these in combination with a binoculars, because it can burn the film of the glasses. So be careful with that. And that's the end of my slideshow. I think pretty clearly describes what we are dealing with from a cloud perspective. It's still 2 days to go, so I will keep you informed a little bit, but there's not that much time for me to make any announcements anymore. And in the morning, I will be making an announcement to tell you what we're doing and what the latest situation is, which you will then be able to see as well by looking outside. All right, I think with that, I will open it up for some questions.
Everyone, once again, our captain, Anu Smith, thank you for creating this for us, giving us a bit of a briefing. At this time, we're also going to welcome our resident astronomer, Tom Vassos. So Tom, come and join us for our Q&A as well. And again, I'm going to come down on deck 4 alongside Ray, our host. If you have questions, give us a big wave. We've also have Francis, one of our production assistants, up on deck 5. We'll cover as many questions as we can. So I guess I'll start over here. We've got our first one, and I'll come to you. No, you don't have to yell. We've got a microphone. It's okay. You're welcome. And excuse me, and yes, we'll cover as many as we can. So first off.
Thank you, Captain. Do you know, I'm sure you do, how many other ships will be approaching the same eclipse interest level? So, and how do you plan to communicate about that? Thank you.
Well, actually, I do not expect it to be very busy. There's not a lot of ships going for Mazatlan, and who else is out there, I have no idea at this point. But I think we will have more than enough sea room for our own.
Will you make sure that all the lights that normally come on at night will not come on during totality, please?
Yes, we'll make sure that all the lights are off. We do not have any lights that come on automatically, so everything will be switched off. So, and I also would like to ask everyone who makes a picture to put the flash on off, because there's no point using a flash.
Hi, I heard from Ship Services that we're going to have a time change in the morning of the eclipse day, like we're setting our clocks back an hour. Is that true, and do the times you gave accommodate that change?
Yes, we do change the clocks. We go back to the time zone we need to be in for Mazatlan. But all the times that are already take that into account. So what we are looking at, because there's some websites out there that use mountain daylight time and can be a bit confusing because Mexico doesn't have that anymore. So the time that I have and that Tom has is 11:06, 11:07 for the total eclipse. So if that matches your timing, then we're good.
And if you forget to change your watch, 12:06. So you won't miss it because you'll.
What speed will you be traveling at?
That will depend. We will go slow speed. If it's clear and we are sure that it stays clear for a while, we'll probably go around 7-8 knots. So we keep a steady speed. We'll have stabilizers out so that keep the ship steady. If we go slower than that, or if we stop, we will probably roll around a little bit on the swell. So that's plan A. But if there's a small gap and I'm right in the middle of it and I shouldn't get out, then I'll probably stop or turn around.
And at that speed, you might give us 3 or 4 extra seconds of eclipse.
We'll go up top to deck 5. I think Francis has a question.
Yes, I just want to reassure everyone I'm a professional meteorologist, and your analysis and your briefing was excellent. I've been watching this very carefully, and it's spot on exactly. We have to be realistic. There are some clouds, but mainly high clouds, but I'm confident you'll get us there. Thank you.
Can I get your cabin number? I may ask for your help.
And the rest of us will pray.
We have our next one on this side with Ray, and then we'll pop back this way.
We've noticed there have been a lot of private events. Are there going to be any private events, any restricted areas where people who aren't invited to the private events can't go?
Yes, we've got the Sky Telescope group will have Sky Deck 10 that will be roped off. And no, that's not the best part of the ship because they're 8 feet closer to the sun. It doesn't make any difference. So we've got lots of 90% open public area on the rest of the ship.
Okay, thank you. I mostly just want to make plans, that's all.
And that's going to be very busy up there with 300 people on Sky Deck.
Yes, yeah.
But also, if I could share, we will have the bow open as long as the weather conditions are on our side. The bow can be accessed from the front of the ship, and we'll have signage in place since it is typically a restricted area. But the bow is open for all that morning, and that will be open 9 o'clock onwards. So that's also a great vantage point. We're also recommending deck 8 with the sea view pool and any outside deck. So you've got a lot of options up here. We're going to have...
Do not climb on the funnel, please.
Please, no climbing. Good point.
No climbing on the funnel.
And the 8th floor deck pool area will be great because the roof will be open. Just be aware, and you'll get a great view. You can, I know, the chairs, you can lie down. Just be aware during the 4 minutes of totality to make sure you get a chance to look at that horizon because we want to see some of those glowing sunset colors around the horizon.
How current are the pictures of clouds that you will be able to access?
What I just showed you was from this morning. And then what I will look at in the morning is it's like almost real time, what I can see. It's possibly 1 hour old.
Francis on 5, do you have anything?
So, Aaron, when you say the bow area will be open, what floor is that?
Captain, it's your bow. Do you want to talk about the bow?
I can talk about my bow. The bow, the door to the bow is on deck 3 forward. So deck 3 is the walk-around deck. If you go all the way forward, there's 2 steel doors. One of those will be open with a sign. So you need to go up there one set of stairs, and then there's a bit of a ramp that you need to go over. It's not a regular area for people to walk, but so you will need to be able to climb the stairs to get there.
We will also have signage in place all the way forward on deck 4 to help guide you there. There's a way to get there from the theater, but I'm not going to tell everyone now because we can't have everyone showing up backstage before. But we will have signage in place, like I said, all the way forward, deck 4 in the elevator and stairwell landings as well.
Yeah, also deck 6 forward is open. To get there is from deck 6 port side all the way forward, there's a door. But that's not a very big area, so it will be crowded pretty quickly, but that's how you can get there as well. Deck 6, port side all the way forward.
Thanks, Captain. We're going to head to our next question in the middle over here.
Captain, thank you very much. That was very comprehensive, and you're obviously looking at this very, very carefully. Obviously, the engines are going to be running, so there'll be smoke from the smokestack. So what direction will the wind be at the time? So we can avoid that smoke, which it won't stop a naked eye view, but anybody trying to photograph that would be quite a problem.
Yeah, that's correct. The engines, I will need to keep the engines running. I can't stop those. But we'll run on the minimum number of engines that we can possibly do. So there will be the least amount of smoke. The wind, there is not much wind. So the wind that there is will come in from the port side. So that will push it to the starboard side. But as we make a little headway, it'll probably go just on the starboard quarter.
Okay.
But I have a very distinct feeling that plan B is more realistic than plan A. So this may change completely. So what I'll do is what I'll try to do is just before the eclipse to be on a steady heading, so you can actually see where it is, and I will try to avoid making any last minute major course alterations for this reason.
Thank you very much.
And if we have bad luck with that smoke, just enjoy the eclipse, and we'll have 1,000 photos the day after from the rest of the world on Google.
No. We don't want to do that.
Yes, so just to clarify that, because that was a question from yesterday, the question was, can we look with binoculars during totality? So just to clarify, during partial, yeah, always wear the glasses, okay? Probably not a good idea to use any optics, no binoculars, unless you have no cameras, unless you have the proper solar filters. But just to clarify, during that 4 minutes of totality, glasses off, use your binoculars, use your cameras without your flashes. Everything goes for that 4 minutes, so thank you for that question.
This question is for Tom. Without giving away any trade secrets, can you tell us what astronomy groups are on board, what kind of research they're conducting, and what they're hoping to get out of this?
Yes, we have the Sky and Telescope group on board, of course, with the 300 folks, so welcome all the Sky and Telescope folks doing their conference. We've had a couple of NASA astronauts on board, so that's been kind of fun. And we have our Star Trek Trekkies group on board too, and they're doing Star Trek research. And Dominic, where are you? We've got a cast member of Star Trek on here, 90 or so episodes. So make sure you get a picture with Dominic.
Thanks, Tom. We're going to pop up to Francis on deck 5.
Hi, Tom. I hate to assume anything, but if you have a veranda and you are on the starboard side of the ship, should that be okay for viewing?
No, well, it depends if we go plan A or B, but no, if it's plan A, starboard side's no good on your balcony. Oh, you still will be able to? Okay. So it'll be high enough that we'll get the view. Okay. Oh,
Thank you.
Go
We're
ahead.
heading this way.
Good to see you again. We cruised with you many years ago. I think it was on the Volendam, or maybe it was your father, because you still look about the same. Anyway, I have a non-eclipse question for you, and it's one I always ask the captains during the meeting with the captains on the board. Do we have any plans, or can you tell us any idea when we might see a female captain on Hollow America?
Well, it's a matter of time, but it will be a good couple of years before we're there. We have a lot of female officers in various ranks, but we need them to progress up to staff captain level and captain level. So that will take a couple of years, but we have quite a few female officers. Matter of time.
Thanks, Captain. We're going to head up to deck 5. Francis, do you have something for us?
Yes, I have just a quick comment and a question. The comment is, don't try to look at the eclipse from your veranda because you have no mobility. If something changes, the wind isn't right, you can't go anywhere. So you're going to have to get out of the cabin, go down the corridor, find the right deck. Don't do it.
Especially during the 4 minutes of totality. Exactly. Yes.
The question is, I guess, for Tom, if we want to see shadow bands, where's the best place to be?
We don't even know if we'll get shadow bands, so I hope you just enjoyed the videos that some of our guests provided. But pretty much anywhere. The key for shadow bands is remember that most likely 20 to 30 seconds before totality, 20 to 30 seconds after totality. The key to shadow bands is getting a white surface. Some people literally put white bed sheets down. Please don't do that all over the decks. But we've got some white surfaces on the deck. We've got some white surfaces on some of the stacks. So keep an eye on the ground. Keep an eye on the sides of the ships, any of the walls nearby where you are. That's where you need to look for them. But we all need to join forces here. We're all in this together as a community, as a team. So the key is once you see them, yell out shadow bands, and everyone will come running and see wherever it is that you've spotted them. So let's all get in on this together, help each other out, and that will maximize our overall experience.
Hi. This area of Mexico has a vast recreational sailing and a variety of small boats. I would expect that, and they are not half as sober in their
as you.
As you.
Excellent.
And I'm wondering
we can have those, yeah.
I mean, everybody with a boat will be there. Families, partying, it will be something. So I'm wondering what kind of contingency or plans you have to ensure their safety, and I don't think they would hurt the boat, but...
Well, what I'm going to do, that's why we're going to slow steam. That's plan A. If I need to stop, I'm not going to run anybody over. So if I need to change course for another ship, then I will have to. But I'll try to avoid that. We can see a little bit ahead. I hope they're not drunk yet at 11 in the morning. But you actually have a point there. So we'll keep our eyes wide open.
Thank you. Captain and Tom, we're coming this way.
If you can take your glasses off for the 4 minutes, how will we know when to take them off?
Okay, so as you have your glasses on, the moon, over that hour and 15 minutes of partial eclipse, you're going to see it closer, closer, closer. When it's 99% there, you're going to know we're getting really close. And that last diamond ring, that last flash before totality happens, that last flash is your indicator. And after that diamond ring, then you're going to see that total darkness. So you will easily know you've got your glasses on. Once it's totally dark, now take them off. 4 minutes later is when, as soon as you start seeing some brightness come back, get those glasses quickly back on. That's the way to do it.
Thanks. Francis, anything on deck 5?
Yes.
You guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is, will you or can you provide latitude, longitude coordinates during the eclipse? Thanks.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't know where we're going to be exactly, but we'll provide that somehow.
Thank you.
Perhaps upon our arrival into Mazatlan, if you shoot me a message with the coordinates, we can share that at the arrival announcement.
Yeah, we'll make sure that everyone gets that information somehow.
Thanks, Captain. We're going to head to Ray.
Captain, do you have any suggestions or accommodations being made for those with limited mobility, scooters, wheelchairs that can't get the stairs to get to the bow?
I would go for the aft decks because it's easy to get to from the Lido, and it's a wide open space. That would be my suggestion. You can also take the forward elevator towards the crow's nest and then go aft from there around the dome area. There is quite some space there, a little bit less space to maneuver around, but I would say the aft deck's probably the best.
That's 9th floor?
8th.
Or sorry, 8th, I mean. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We're coming to the back with our next one.
Okay. Hi. Is there going to be a countdown to when the totality starts, and especially when the totality ends? So we'll know when it's time to put the glasses back on?
Yes, we're counting down now.
Well, actually, I'm not going to do any countdown on a PA system. I'd like this thing to be, just you and the sun, and without too much noise. So yeah, I suspect I suggest that you look through your glasses and see it coming. I think you can see it coming fairly easily,
absolutely.
but I like to keep it quiet. I'm also not going to sound the whistle or anything like that, because that'll scare you very much. And I think it doesn't do any justice to the moment.
Good question. Francis, back up to 5. Anything on 5?
Yep, thank you.
Use of tripods?
Yes, anyone that can use your tripods. I think even at the speeds you're talking about, the tripods still should be pretty good in terms of keeping something in the field of view. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of this going back and forth.
I have no idea when your tripod, how fast you need to go or how slow we need to go, to be very honest. But if I go real slow, then our stabilizers don't work. We may roll a little bit. That depends on if there's a swell or not. So that would also not be good.
Right. So you minimize that roll with the swell, and we'll do trial and error with the tripods.
I have another question over here in the back on this side. Sorry.
Good morning. I have a question about has someone on your staff done a calculation of ratio open deck space to approximate footprint of persons?
It fits. But it's going to be crowded. So, I suggest you have a good look on the areas that are open and where your best chances are. It does fit, but it's definitely going to be fairly crowded.
And for that, don't step on anyone's toes. That day, we're going to make you all officially very polite Canadians, so be nice to each other.
Thank you. We have our next question this way, Tom and Captain.
Thanks. Logistics, you mentioned that you were going to stack chairs on the rear deck, hopefully most of them, the lounges. Are you going to do that around the Lido pool as well?
Aaron, can you answer that one? I think we will remove most of the loungers, but we will also leave a bit of seating in place in areas for people who cannot stand that long.
Excellent.
Maybe Aaron, you can.
Sure. So Seaview, we will remove the loungers, but we will keep the tables and chairs. Annie, our entertainment director, she's trying to do sign language, but tell us what the deal is. And give it up for Annie. She really helped us in organizing this event.
Hi, everyone. We will be removing the loungers around the pool, but we are leaving all tables and chairs available. So that will all be there and available for anyone who has mobility issues or needs to sit. It is a long event. We want you to have the ability to sit down and enjoy it. But all lounge chairs, Lido midship, as well as on our aft Seaview pool, will be removed.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.
Francis, back up to you on 5.
This is for the captain. Are you allowing the staff to take a few minutes off so they can come out and watch?
Yeah, that's they're already dealing with that themselves. There's 4 people up on the bridge that can't leave. There's also people in the engine room that I hope won't leave. It's 4 minutes, so I will leave it up to them. They can relieve each other quickly, so they can see at least 2 minutes. But we will need to man certain areas of the ship, even when it goes dark.
Thank you. Ray, our next question.
Yes, just an observation. My wife and I saw our first eclipse off Mazatlan in 1991, 6 minutes and 40 plus seconds. And one of the things we remember, we were in the back of the ship. At the end of totality, the dolphins came out of the water, and it stayed with our memory. So one of the things you might want to look for, because that's the only animal life we're going to see around there, or maybe some birds.
Yes. And just the comment there too, anyone that sees dolphins, yell it out. Let's get around and take a look. And if all of us move to one whole side of the ship.
Don't do that.
Okay, don't yell dolphins too loud. Just tell me about it.
Well, there's quite a lot of dolphins in this area, so yeah, who knows?
All right, we're heading back this way for our next question.
So I just want to remind folks that there will be engine vibrations, and I personally would not consider using a tripod because it'll transmit the energy, the engine vibrations. So if you're going to do that, use a very fast shutter speed.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you. All right, over on deck 4, we've got our next.
The circular tables that are on the deck near the pool, would one of them be available for mounting a telescope on it, since I do not have a tripod available?
Yes, I think Annie said some of those round tables will be staying there with the chairs around them, so you should be able to find that for doing that.
Thanks. We'll head to Ray on deck 4 for the next one.
Yeah, this is Ken Peel visiting from Flin Flon, Manitoba. And I've listened to a lot of comments with the general press that they will expect total darkness during the total eclipse. And we should point out, if you're waiting for total darkness, you'll miss it because we're going to get basically a twilight. I found I could see my notes and stuff during total phases without any problem. So do point out that we get more like a twilight. It will not be completely dark.
Yes, thank you for that clarification as well.
Ray, anything on 4?
Yeah, I got one over here.
Just a very quick question. Is the Konings Dam going to be in the totality path?
Yes, they are also going for that. They have a different itinerary, but they are also planning to go and see it, probably further out in the ocean.
I have another one over here.
Sure. Well, Ray, we'll go to you, and then Francis up on 5. We'll go to the next.
Okay.
You can go ahead. When somebody wears eyeglasses, do you put the eclipse glasses over them, under them, or just not take your glasses off?
Sorry, repeat the question?
If you wear eyeglasses for vision,
yes.
Do you put your eclipse glasses over them, under them, or take your glasses off?
Yeah, good question. Keep your glasses on because you'll get, of course, the clarity of your eyesight rather than something blurry. Do any of the experts have an opinion on that? I think whatever's more comfortable, probably going over your regular glasses is going to be better. But
yeah, that's what I heard. You need to put them over
and
your
do
glasses. Not put them underneath because then it will damage the film. So you need to put them on the outside of your regular glasses.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. Francis on 5.
I read someone's comments from a previous cruise, and they said viewing from deck 3, lower promenade, was adequate, good, whatever. What might be the speculation for viewing from deck 3?
If we follow plan A, then you should be able to see the sun if you are standing against the railing. So if you're further back, it'll be hard, but if you have a spot on the railing, I would say you would probably be able to see it. So, but also, yeah, I suggest that you just keep a good eye on the sun before, and then if you think you can see it from there, you may want to stay there. If we start moving around, it's not such a good place to be, but I think probably make a quick announcement before this time to tell you what we are doing or if we're going to stay on course or not.
Thank you.
Thank you. Captain Tom, we've got our next one this way.
Okay, thank you. Last time I was on the bow of a Holland America ship, was going through the Panama Canal, and a lovely person came up and handed me a Panama cake. So if I go to the bow this time, will a lovely person come and hand me a Corona?
I cannot answer this
you're
question.
busy, aren't you, at that time?
I will not be the one, but I'm not sure what we are gonna serve.
Ray, to the side, our next one.
All the way over here.
As Tom briefly touched, how would 1,400 passengers kind of quickly moving to one area of the ship affect stability?
The ship will list. We can handle it, but we will definitely feel it. So rather everyone sort of evenly spreads over the outside decks.
And then your tripods won't work.
Francis up on 5. Anything for us?
Yeah, question for Tom. There's been a comet in the sky, and there was some talk about being possibly able to see that. Is there any news on that?
Yes, so some of the folks on the ship have actually saw it last night. So they've been looking through the telescopes. As I mentioned, yes, during totality, it's going to be 25 degrees away from the sun and the moon. 25 degrees is an easy measurement. Just stick your hand out at arm's length, and there's the eclipse, and 12P Pons-Brooks comet will be roughly right there. It is almost to the point of visible eye viewing, but probably not. So those of you without the proper equipment, you don't have to bother wasting your 4 minutes of totality trying to look for it. You can do it that evening. So that might be a better thing. Those of you that want to see it, that have the binoculars and telescopes and things like that, that you would be able to see it 25 degrees away from the eclipse during the 4 minutes of totality.
Thank you. We've got our next to the back over here.
Well, you've been very responsible in helping us safeguard our vision. I would like to point out that the diamond ring is not going to be visible if we're perfectly safe like that. And in practice, people, and don't come back to me if you hurt your eyes, but in practice, people do glance at the sun for a split second within the last minute before totality and see the corona starting to pop out, and that's the only way you see the diamond ring. With just a few seconds before totality, I will glance at it for a split second at a time to see the diamond ring.
Right. Thank you. Yes, Rick Feinberg with the Sky and Telescope Group is going to make a comment on that one, please. Thank you, Rick.
What I always tell people, especially if they're not experienced, is to keep the glasses on until totality, okay? Skip the diamond ring at the beginning, because especially if you think in terms of what the gentleman just said, a minute before totality, that's just too risky. Keep your glasses on at the beginning, but don't put them on until after the diamond ring at the end. You can look at the diamond ring for a second or so. It'll be mind-blowingly beautiful, and you'll know that you have to put your glasses back on because it's instantly getting way too bright to look at. So I prefer, especially for the non-experts, don't try to see it at the beginning, but definitely see it at the end.
Excellent. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Captain, how difficult will it be for you to concentrate on manning the ship when you have the opportunity to see the eclipse?
Well, I'm gonna be up on deck. But we have a few people on the bridge who can't see, but we have a very quick way to get up, and we'll make sure that we give them some time to see it too. And then we'll be on, hopefully on autopilot, on Microsoft steering the ship. If there's not too many drunk people around in small boats. Yeah.
Thank you. Captain Tom, we've got our next one back over here.
It's going to be so crowded on deck. I'm kind of worried about the tripods are going to be a problem. Should they be in a designated area?
I don't think we can make it a designated area. I think everyone be careful that day. Some people rope off a small area, but I think there's going to be enough room that we're going to all be comfortable be sensitive to everyone around you, and I think we should all be fine. And during the 4 minutes of totality, I don't think you should be trying to walk around all over the place looking for things. Get your spot at totality, enjoy the 4 minutes, take it all in, observe the eclipse, observe everything you can, and also observe the people around you, their reactions during it, sense what you are going through and what you are feeling during that, because it can be a very emotional experience. So let's focus on that.
Thanks, Tom. Francis, up on 5, anything for us?
Yes, I just wanted to ask what time is first contact?
11:06 Sorry, did you say partial or total? Oh, first contact, yes, 9:51.
Yeah, it'll be about 10 minutes before 10.
Yes, thank you.
And then 11:06, 11:07 total.
For totality.
Well, yeah, if we turn right. Maybe 11:05 if we turn left.
Okay. I want to beg all of us to be a little bit quiet when we see this eclipse, because this will be my 3rd eclipse, and the first I witnessed in 1999 in Germany. And when it glows dark, everything was quiet, and we heard the birds don't sing, and it was wonderful. And the second time was in 2017 in Oregon, and when this moon goes over the sun, everything goes woo, and you couldn't witness such. And I don't know if it was the 20 years or is it a cultural difference. And so, please have in mind everything. It is most wonderful when you be quiet.
I will keep quiet. I'll be quiet.
I would like to add that, though. I think I'd like to see a little bit of both during both ends of that totality. I'm okay with some reaction and emotion and all that, but yeah, sometime during the 4 minutes, let's have that contemplative, totally quiet time to all take it in. So thank you for that suggestion.
Maybe we'll be quiet on the first, and then when it goes away, we can ooh and ah.
Exactly.
I leave it up to you, but I'll be quiet.
We're okay with the oohs and the ahs at both ends of that totality.
We've got our next one this way.
Oh, are there any colanders left in the kitchen?
Annie, can you get those colanders out?
I think there's, I'm not sure.
Francis, up on 5, anything for us?
And by the way, don't forget on that one, just do your hands like this, and you'll kind of make small holes inside your fingers, and that will project on the ground cool crescent-shaped images during totality. So if you don't have a colander in your pocket, use your hands or a straw hat that might have a bunch of holes in it. Anything with a bunch of pinholes in it will work.
Francis, up on 5, anything for us?
Okay. Access to the bow is going to be via deck 4, and it will be marked. Is that correct?
On deck 3.
Deck 3.
Yeah, deck 3 forward.
Ray, over on 4, anything for us?
Yep. You mentioned the bow area would be open, but it's usually restricted. Will it be open beforehand for people to go check it out?
Yes, we'll open around 9 o'clock. Just that day, yeah. No.
All right, Captain and Tom, over here. Oh, you're okay? Cancel that. Back to Ray.
For the captain, will you be providing some narration on the PA system to tell us whether you're choosing Plan A or Plan B?
Yes, that I will do. So, but I will do that ahead of time. So probably around 9 o'clock or so, if that's agreeable. Is everyone awake? Yeah, I'll let you know what the final plan is for us.
Thanks, Captain. Up on 5, Francis, anything?
Yes.
Back to the grommet question. If you've got a Tilly hat or something similar, those grommet holes make excellent lenses for the partial phases.
Thank you. Yeah, anything with little pinholes in it will work. Oh, a belt? Maybe a belt would work. Sure. Try it out.
Ray, anything on 4? Francis, anything on 5?
Yes.
If you need a colander, there's a Walmart right across from where we dock.
Thank you.
I like that one.
We've got our next one up front.
I can't tell from looking down at the bow, but the sides are slanted and I don't know the height. Would there be any risk, or are you going to be doing anything to ensure that people don't get too close to those sides, or even if that's an important question?
We'll have somebody there from security telling you when you are getting too close. It's slanted slightly, but there's no risk of falling over. I don't want anyone to climb on there. I don't want anyone to climb on the very tip of the bow and do Titanic pictures. And there's also a hatch in the middle that I prefer people not to step on. We will rope it off. So.
Thank you.
Francis, anything on 5?
Yes, I'd like a clarification. There are 2 decks on the bow. There's one that you can get on now. I've already gotten on it. And then at a lower level, there's a big flat deck. Are they both going to be open?
Yes, so the smaller one, that's deck 6. So that's already open for anyone who wants to have a look there. But the big one, that's actually deck 4, and that's accessible by deck 3 on the day.
Thank you. Captain Tom, this way.
How far off the coast will we be?
Depends on the plan. Anywhere between 30 and 40 miles offshore when we start. And then if the conditions are good, we'll keep on closing in. But that's at the start, and then probably end up about 30 miles offshore when the totality is over, and that will give me about 2 hours to get to the pilot station in Mazatlan.
Thank you. Ray, anything on 4?
Not that I see right now.
All right, we're going to head this way then to Nelson.
Yes, and I was fortunate enough to see the great solar eclipse of July 1991 from the southward on a Norwegian cruise ship. We had the great astronomer Frank Drake on board.
Wow.
And he did make some announcements like 1 minute to totality, 1 minute to totality. You could see the planets, 30 seconds, Bailey's beads, diamond ring, totality. And then 30 seconds before the end. 30 seconds to the end of totality. Watch your eyes. Those were his announcements.
Yeah, we won't be doing that, but hopefully kind of the training we put you through helped. But secondly, by the way, those of you that missed our talk the other day, because I know we did have some complaints, we had 700 people in this room, not everyone could make it in. Following this talk, after the captain leaves us, I'll be spending a few minutes going over that stuff again. So especially those of you that missed the talk the other day, please stick around, and we want to kind of get you up to speed with all of that going on.
Thanks, Tom. Francis, anything on 5?
Yes, thank you, Erin.
Will short people be able to see, given the angle?
I think so. The sun is quite high up in the sky.
Okay.
If you go out there now, you can see how high the sky is. So it's a good 60, 70 degrees up. So it's not like it's going to be hidden unless someone really tall stands in front of you. But then, no, you should be able to see it.
Thank you. In the center over here.
Just a request for the captain. Would you please consider warning everybody that if they fall overboard, you will not be going back for them until after totality?
Keep swimming with the dolphins. I'll pick you up later.
No,
I will do 3 more questions because I need to go and park the ship in Puerto Vallarta soon.
Those overboard will get picked up by those drunk sailors. Don't worry.
Hello, just a question related to one we just previously had. You were talking about being 30 to 40 miles offshore and maybe going inland, I guess depending on what happens with the clouds. But is there a possibility that we could go further out, like 100 miles out, going the other direction? If the clouds are moving inland, can we go along the path further out?
Yes, so I will look at the cloud situation in the morning. And if indeed it's better to turn away from the shore, then we're going away from the shore. If that means we have to miss Mazatlan, we'll do so. We'll go for the best possible spot to see the eclipse.
Okay, great, thank you.
But like I said, when those clouds come in from the side, it is very difficult to, it doesn't really, probably won't make much difference to go towards or away. So it's more left or right, and I may need to go to find the best spot. But that the eclipse has a total priority.
Thanks, Captain. Francis, on 5, anything for us?
I was at the 91 total solar in Mazatlan on the beach. This is a true story. And there were thousands of people with cameras, and they had tripods, all up and down the beach, and totality hit, birds stopped, no sound at all except click, click, click of the cameras. And the other noise was a little boat with a motor, and there was a parasailer. She was up about, I don't know, 80 feet or whatever, and there's no sound except the motor and the click, click, click of the cameras. Again, this is a true story.
Thank you.
That's, wait a minute.
Oh.
That was not the punchline.
Oh, yeah.
Get to it. All of a sudden we hear from the woman parasailing, quote, "Why is it dark?" unquote.
Thank you.
Someone's very lucky day parasailing. On that note, I think, Captain, we will send you off to the bridge to make sure everything's very well up there.
Thank you. Tom will stay behind.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for being here. We're going to pass it over
Thank
to
you.
Tom.
Thank you. I really hope there's going to be no clouds.
Thank
you.
A couple of things for those that